do me a favor. Before you discount this video as just like another portable power station review brought to you by Byte My Bits, I want you to consider this, and I stand behind what I'm about to say. This is by far the single best portable power station that I have ever reviewed. And I've done, gosh, I want to say half a dozen to a dozen of them. When I think about the design of this battery, the functionality, the performance, everything about this battery, I see an entire room full of people who have used portable power stations in real life, sitting down, brainstorming, and saying, let's make this battery badass. That's what we have today. What's up, YouTube? Jason here with Byte My Bits. I'm not kidding. I 100% stand behind this battery. There are a few little things that I wish maybe would have been different, but they don't actually affect the battery and they don't really matter. I just had to pull something out of my butt to complain about. This is the Vanpowers Super Power Pro 2000 watt portable power station. This thing can pump out 2,000 watts worth of power unless you turn it into overdrive mode, in which case it can handle 3,000 watts of power. And it doesn't stop there. You can do up to 4,000 watts of surge power. And the inverter in this damn thing can handle it because, wow. If this Vanpowers battery, okay, if this can start and run this compressor, it's 110 volts, the highest one I can get, right? This thing takes a lot of power. We're talking breaking fuses, popping fuses, dimming lights. That thing is impossible to start. If this can run it, it's like God mode. Let's try it out. First, I gotta drain a little bit. It may have only said 1,400 watts, but I've never been able to run this compressor off of any battery because it has such a high surge just to get that initial start. I love this damn thing. And based off of that, I could take this thing out and do a work job or something for like 2 hours just with this battery. Like I'm saying, the efficiency of the inverter in this is just off the charts. I'm not taking this thing apart. I don't want to break it. I am absolutely in love with this thing. This is my new favorite battery. I never want to get rid of it and I hope it never breaks. 2,096 watt hours worth of capacity. And since I'm on the subject of this and the inverter, let's talk about efficiency, shall we? I have actually been reviewing and testing 4 separate batteries and the basic power range of what this battery can do. So I had this very unique perspective of running multiple tests, multiple batteries, and seeing wildly different numbers when it comes to inverter efficiency curves. Like some of them are really bad, not gonna lie. At least, compared to this. And don't get me wrong, I want to tell you about some of the features and all that other stuff, but I really want to get into the inverter efficiency because, yeah, the average portable power station that you see nowadays are going to give you anywhere between 75 to 85% inverter efficiency, which as far as like how much battery, how much power is wasted with the inverter, how much power can you actually draw out of the AC outlets, okay? That's your efficiency. The efficiency curve, however, is when the inverter's turned on, if you're drawing low amounts versus high amounts, you're gonna have some of that waste. A lot of that could be heat. A lot of that could just be it powered on and not really putting out enough to really make the inverter worth being on. So the efficiency curve is very important. It's something I said in my last video, but this thing just doesn't give a crap about that. Let me explain why. I used 4 main testing points. I usually try to do 5, but I used 4 main testing points as far as power draw. And the only reason why I did 4 is because I tested them 2.5 times. I was going for a third, but I figured I'm still getting the same results, so I'm only human. Turning the inverter on, 100% power, running at 560 watts, then running at 815 watts. These are sustained power draw, and 1150 watts all gave me 2 kilowatt hours worth of capacity. I'm not even kidding, exactly on the dot, 2 kilowatt hours worth of capacity. This thing has 2,096 watt hours worth of capacity. That puts this damn thing at 95% efficiency, all the way from 500 to 1150 watt power draw, which is absolutely unheard of, at least in my little realm of testing, which makes this thing freaking stupid and annoying because I had to retest it to make sure I wasn't going crazy. I'm kidding. I love you. Please don't blow up. I'm sorry. And the only way I was able to actually get the efficiency curve to dip off a little bit on this is pushing it to almost its max. We're talking 17 to 1800 watts of constant draw to get this efficiency down to 92%. That is 1.92 kilowatt hours pushing at 1800 watt draw. 92% efficiency at almost maximum draw. Wow. It doesn't stop there, okay? That's just like that. I feel like I gave you the cake first. Let me give you a little bit of the meat and potatoes, the specs, the things that it can do that also make it just amazingly badass. First of all, charging. Now I have nicknamed this damn power station the Circuit Popper 5000. Why 5000? I have no idea. But it will definitely pop some circuit breakers in your house if you're not careful. And the reason why is because on the side, when it comes to input, 1, you don't need a power brick. Hey. 2, this thing can charge through an AC connection up to 1800 watts. 1800 watts, giving you like an 80% charge in like an hour. Jesus. What the heck? Is that safe? Is that going to explode? I have absolutely no idea, but it can do it. But what that does mean though is that if you plug that into something that has anything else plugged into it on the same circuit, you will blow a fuse. Circuit breaker. Sorry, you'll blow a circuit breaker on your main panel. I did it multiple times. Now this might scare you, but they fixed that. And I'm not saying like they dropped it down so now you can't even, no. They actually made this thing with a Wi-Fi connection that allows you to have your own app to go through here and change how fast it charges. Like for example, I have mine set to 800 watts. I feel like that's a good middle ground. I don't need to supercharge this damn thing that often, so I don't want to fry the batteries. But 800 watts is a pretty good charging speed. You can go all the way from 300, 500, 800, 1200, and 1800 watts just off of the AC connection. So this battery is a freaking crackhead when it comes to charging, but it's able to control itself. So A+++. And before I close this whole input charging lid, I want to point out a couple more things. 1, you can charge this thing up to 600 watts with solar. That's 60 volts at 10 amps, 600 watts. Wow. Second of all, this thing actually has a ground. I know a lot of people question grounds when it comes to these little portable power stations, but I used a multimeter and I tested everything. I tested from this ground over to the plugins on the side. I tested every single plug-in. They all make a connection. I tested it to the AC inlet. They all make a connection. I tested the outlets with each other. They all make a connection. This thing is actually grounded. And if you want to, you can drive something into the ground. You can take this out camping with you and you can legitimately have a grounded, safe, super powerful, absolutely ridiculous power station that is safe. Did I already say safe? No, let's just go with crazy. All right, let's flip this around. Okay, remember when I said earlier there's a bunch of people got in a room and they're like, no, I use these things. Let's do this because I think this is a great idea. Stop being corporate and listen to real people. This is why I think that was the way this went down, because of the outlets. Holy crap. If you look at these outlets, they're all angled in different ways. At first I thought this was stupid, but then you start plugging things in and you realize things have wall warts and they all just go different directions. Some go to the left, some go to the right, some go to the top, some go to the bottom, some are just big and bulky. With this one, you actually have the ability to go through and just kind of rotate them around to make them fit the best way possible. Yeah, they're still close. No, they're not perfect, but that is like one of those really small touches I've never seen before that I feel like could be infinitely useful in such a weird way. I mean, freaking bravo, golf clap. Vanpowers, seriously. On the same side, you also have a cigarette lighter output that is DC regulated at 13.6 volts. Yes, an actually great regulated 12 volt outlet. That's cool. I really don't use a whole lot of cigarette 12 volt stuff, so it doesn't really mean that much to me. 6 different outputs. Oh yeah, by the way, 50 pounds, not a joke. Let's talk about the screen. I love screens. Screens are amazing. It gives you all the information you need. It tells you exactly what your percentage is. It has this awesome little ring to show you what the charge capacity is. Over here on the right, it'll tell you what the watts incoming is. It'll tell you what the watts outgoing is. Somewhere on this screen, I'm gonna say right here, will give you a time for charging or discharging. Nope, right there. It runs at 60 hertz. It only runs at 110 volts, but most of these power stations do that anyways. But oh my God, just one more reason for me to love this battery and recommend it to everybody if you're willing to spend the money for something that can actually be a badass, is it has a built-in UPS feature. I've been mentioning this. This is happening more and more and more with these portable power stations. They're finally starting to realize that having a UPS feature built into a portable power station that's going to cost you $1,700, $1,800 just makes it worth more money. This thing has it. Not only does it have it, but because this thing charges so damn fast, you can actually have up to 1,800 watts worth of UPS power pass-through running something like servers, computers, servers. Like, I can't wait to just roll this into my server room, hook it up to my rack, and bypass those crappy little cyber power things that have like 18 amp hours worth of backup power. It gives me 8 minutes, right? This thing's gonna give me like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Why would I ever use like a deep cell UPS again? It doesn't, like, why? Now up here you see this little Wi-Fi thing. The Wi-Fi button is what allows you to really control this battery all through an app. And I can tell you, it is fully featured. It is amazing. And in some really weird way, it has firmware updates somewhat often, which is, well, actually it's cool. I don't really have anything negative to say about that. It's just weird, but it's cool. Since I've been testing this thing, I have updated the firmware on this twice. So they're actively making changes, actively increasing whatever it is that they're doing. And that's all through the whole Wi-Fi, through your phone, whatever. And I gotta be honest, I found this next part out by accident and I wanna turn it into kind of a criticism. Somehow this thing has 4G. I'm not even lying. It has a cell phone signal. I don't have any area in here where I could like remove a SIM card, but the SIM card that it lists inside the app, based off of what I know with SIM cards, it's a digital SIM card. So it's not like a physical SIM card, which means this isn't gonna give you like a hotspot. It's not gonna allow you to use internet off of it. No, what it's gonna do, it's gonna blow your mind a little bit. It's gonna allow you to remotely manage this via 4G, and believe this or not, you can actually find out where it is. It has a locate feature. I've never seen that in a battery. I'm in love. In order to turn on the 4G, which I found by accident and really realized it was there, but in order to turn on the 4G, you have to press and hold the DC button. Right? Now you get this little 4G thing that pops up over here. Cool. Now I can connect to that with this. Neat. If you have the 4G thing turned on here, you're out, you're doing your thing, you're camping, whatever, someone comes by and steals this and then turns it on, there is legitimately a location thing, which I can't show you because I don't want to give away my location, but there is a dot. You know what? I'm gonna record the screen. I'm gonna show you the dot really close. It tells me where the battery is located. So if I need to find it, it's got its own load jack. How stupid, crazy, amazing is that? Speaking of all the things on the front that you can turn on or off, let's talk about some of the connections. Small complaint, really not valid, but this thing really only has USB Type-C charging ports on the front, which that's fine. You know, you might have to carry an adapter. Most people have Type-C chargers anyway. I really can't hate on the leap of faith and technology to get rid of the old style USB. Maybe I wish this one still had it, but it's not really that big of a deal. You have two 20-watt USB-C connections and you have two 100-watt USB-C connections. Plenty of power to do whatever you want, along with the regulated 13.6 volt on the side. And then down here, you got those DC plugs. I want to say 5521 barrel plugs. I could be completely wrong, but these run at 136 watts max each, which is really, 1.36 volts at 10 amps, which is what this is. So you kind of see where the 136 watts comes from. So you get 3 DC outs, 4 USB Type-C plugins, all of which is controlled from right here. Kind of cool. If I can nitpick something, I don't know if this is a thing, I just really wish I could. I wish I could change this to 120 volts out, because as a power station, it only puts out 110 volts. That's not really a big deal. It runs all of my computer stuff just fine. But if you're running a fan, space heater, whatever, you just notice a dip in performance because 110 is just not as good as 115, 120. Again, not a big deal, just a wish. That's all. And of course, it has a light, which, it's RGB, neat. I have to do all this from my phone. I have to change the colors, I have to turn it on. All of that controls with the app. I have no way of controlling it, at least not that I know of, from this device. So if I had a gripe about anything Vanpowers, I feel like that is an amazing little accent feature thing that you added, which is pretty cool. I have other batteries that have bigger lights that are really great when you want to put on like a camping ground table with food on it and you want to light up the area. I keep using that as an example, but it would be really nice to kind of have some more lights, but that is not an issue. So please just take that with a grain of salt. Off. With the app, you have the ability to change how fast it times out. So you can make the system go into full power down mode anywhere between 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, or never. Also, you can make the display timeout 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or never. So if you did want to run off and use this as like a UPS backup and you never want that screen turned off, that's your thing. The only possible thing that I can say that this does not have, that a lot of other batteries nowadays do have, is wireless charging. I don't miss it. I've never used it on any of my other batteries, especially when I took them camping. So it's not really something I miss, but if that is a thing that you like to use, just keep that in mind. There's no wireless charging, but there's something pretty cool. This is, oh God, Vanpowers, seriously, I love this. Watch this, flip this around, this, just pull that up. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I can roll it. This is rollable. The thing is 50 pounds. You don't want to lug this damn thing across the parking lot or down to a freaking, campsite. No, instead, you want to roll it. That is cool. Please. I have no follow-up to please, but holy bananas. So 2,000 watts. It has a 3,000 watt super boost mode. It can surge up to 4,000 watts. It has a 2,096 watt hour capacity that has a 95% inverter efficiency, which means you actually get 2,000 watt hours worth of battery capacity out of this. It rolls, it's smart, it charges super fast or super slow. I legitimately cannot come up with a real complaint that makes me not like this battery. If you are in the market, and I don't ever say this, if you are in the market for something like this, if you can actually handle something like this, this is it. This is the battery. This is everything I've wanted within 99% of a battery. This is it. I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool to maybe have like an add-on pack. You know, there's batteries out there where you can just plug it in and get it. I'm just coming up with things that I wish it had, but seriously, this is it. This is the battery. Of course, Vanpowers sent this over to me, and unless this thing is on Amazon, if you buy it, I don't get anything, right? I'm pretty sure it's just on their website, but if I find it on Amazon, I will link it in the description down below, in which case I will get a little bit of kickback. But even if I don't get a kickback and it's only through their website and you buy something like this, I really, honestly, and truly feel like you are going to be so impressed with it. You're going to be able to use it for so many things that it's just going to make me feel good knowing that I had the opportunity to test and prove that this thing is one of the best power stations on the market today, at least on the market today that I've tested. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, post those in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.